Hello and welcome to this Young Director Award interview. I'm Daniel Huntley from Shots, and joining me today is Dylan Holmes Williams, who directed the short film The Devil's Harmony, a piece that won gold at this year's YDA in the short film category. Thanks for joining me, Dylan. How are you doing today?
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. Where are you calling from today, by the way?
I'm just actually out in Suffolk. I've just taken a little trip away from London where I live.
Cool.
So it's very nice. I can see lots of birds, lots of wildlife, which makes a welcome change
Nice.
from Clapton.
Compared to the wildlife back home, yeah?
Yeah, different type of wildlife where I live.
Exactly. So congrats on the award, but let's just start at the beginning. So can you just tell us a little bit about your background and how what was your route into directing?
Yeah, sure. So when I went to university, I studied history of art. And one of my modules was on like European cinema, so I got very into that. Kind of got interested in like directors like Lars von Trier and Thomas Vinterberg. That's kind of how I started out, and then from there, sort of found other directors like David Lynch and Lynn Ramsey and all those sorts of people, and just got really inspired really while I was at university. And also while I was there, there was a kind of short film competition run within the university that was very, kind of low stakes and low key. It was like 500 quid and a Canon 5D camera and go and make a short. And so me and my housemates, we did that quite a few times and made quite a few shorts.
Cool.
And so then when we all graduated, we all kind of wanted just to keep doing it and wanted to do it on a kind of bigger scale. And so that's what we did. And we actually still live together now, those same housemates, and we all kind of work together on our projects and stuff like that. So
Nice.
so yeah, it was just kind of something I got into at university and then just kind of snowballed from there really.
Okay, so it's something you sort of fell into, essentially. What made you want to, continue to pursue that love or ambition
Yeah.
in directing?
Yeah, I guess I just got really hooked on it at university, and I just found that every time I made a film, it was like the biggest thrill, to be on set,
Mm.
and then also to be in the edit. I actually got really into editing first off, so I sort of started out, I learned how to use Premiere Pro just for off YouTube videos and stuff, and was kind of cutting my friends' shorts and cutting little music videos. And I actually cut a feature film actually just after I graduated, having really no experience and no ability or capacity to do that. I just kind of, winged it and got away with it. And that was a big learning curve for me.
Cool.
And so, yeah, it was kind of editing, but always with a view to trying to direct really. So from there, I sort of started directing sort of low budget music videos and a couple of like commercially online type things, and then did my first short in about 2017, I think. And then this film, the one that I'm so glad to say has won this YDA, was my second short. So that came out in sort of 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did this film come from? What was your inspiration, and what was the starting point for The Devil's Harmony?
Yeah, it's again, I feel like all of my answers are rooting back to these to when I was at university. But while I was there, I made a terrible music video for an a cappella club who are brilliant, a brilliant a cappella club. But it was my filmmaking that was the issue. But as I was making this video, I was kind of watching these rushes on repeat in the edit suite, which was my bedroom. And I kind of started to realize how incredibly creepy a cappella clubs are. And I thought, that just seems like a great starting point for a kind of twisted high school musical, horror high school musical. And that was the kind of, the kernel of an idea. And from there, me and my co-writer, Jess O'Kane, we kind of built out the story. And I'd heard about this thing called The Devil's Harmony, which is like a genuine slash kind of mythic harmony that was banned actually by the Vatican in the 17th century, because it was considered to be kind of too discordant and not kind of befitting of music that they were making, that was kind of, in in exaltation of God, and so they banned this harmony, and it was this kind of, that just seemed like a really interesting idea. I was like, cool, how can we work that harmony into this other idea I've had about this a cappella club? And so the two ideas kind of came together.
That's really quite an interesting story behind it. I had no idea. And to go alongside that, the a cappella group, are kind of creepy looking, and a lot of the characters in the film, they're very unusual. So, can you tell us about how you found those actors? What was the process behind it?
Yeah, in terms of the actors, I worked with a casting director who kind of put people forward, and they were just, actors that I saw their reels and thought they were really great, and that they all kind of had good, fairly good kind of credits as well. And so, that was a real coup to get some of those brilliant actors that we worked with. They were also brilliant. The actors were just fantastic, and everyone from the kind of leads to all the members of the a cappella club were just such a joy to work with, and we're just really up for kind of trying stuff out and having fun with this idea. I think definitely for me, like, we were kind of going for quite a specific sort of heightened tone in terms of the acting, so that was quite a fun challenge and quite daunting, because we were having to I was having to ask my actors to do things that were sort of slightly anti-naturalistic and were slightly probably against their instincts. And so I think both for me and also for them, that was a bit daunting. So it was really fun to see it kind of hopefully pay off.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely works. For me, I'm really captivated by interesting acting. The wrong type of casting can totally throw people off sometimes, but this one, you're really like, wow, who's this girl? What's going on? So yeah,
Yeah, well, no.
I thought it was great.
Oh, thanks a lot. Well, yeah, Patsy Ferran, the lead, is a brilliant actor, and she has done lots of fantastic things in theatre, and more recently has started doing things in TV and film as well. And she's just brilliant, very, very smart, and came to the set with her script was it was blacker than it was white. It was so covered in biro that I was almost quite scared. I was like, oh my God, you've done more prep than I have. So she really put the work in, and she really she really kind of committed to the role in a way that was so great, because as I say, we were working with some actors who'd done much bigger projects than my tragic little short. So it was great to see them kind of bring that level of dedication and commitment to it. It was really cool.
So did you have any big challenges when you were doing the shoot?
Yeah, I will say the shoot was one of the most, it was definitely the hardest shoot I've ever done. It was just kind of, there were a lot of moving parts, and we kind of got through it in the end, and everyone pulled such an amazing shift to make it happen. But just because of the scale of what we were trying to do, it was just always going to be, I think in retrospect, it was always going to be a little bit chaotic. So like on one of the days I think we had like 100 people on set, which obviously, it's not masses for some shoots, but for a short, that seems kind of quite big, because, again, a stupid sort of mistake I made, I think, is like writing a script with sort of like 18 cast members, which is not a good idea for a short. So I would never do that again. But I think, but everyone was just such a positive attitude. So they really pulled through for the project. But that was, I guess, just having that many people on set on that one day was one of the big challenges for sure.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good film. It's an interesting watch, and you definitely pulled it together. That was your biggest challenge, and you pulled it out of the bag, if you ask me.
That's great.
Do you plan on working in the advertising industry in the future? And if so, what excites you most about that prospect?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've just signed with Stink Rising, and the guys there are so brilliant, and it's such a lovely family, and the quality of their work is just astonishing. So I'm really pleased to be with them, and really keen to kind of get making some more commercials. I've done a few things in the past, but mainly been focused on kind of narrative work. So I'm really keen to get started on commercials and also music videos. I've got a bit more experience in, but I'd love to kind of pick up and do some more of those as well. So yeah, and I think for me, like anything that's kind of, you know, humorous, darkly humorous, a little bit kind of off kilter, that's kind of my wheelhouse. So that's the kind of thing I'll probably be looking to get involved in.
Great. I look forward to it. I love that type of stuff. That's also my wheelhouse, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what can we expect to see from you in the future then, work-wise? Have you got anything on coming up?
Yeah, I've got a few things. So this year, you know, it's obviously been a very strange year for everybody, and I feel quite fortunate because I was sort of knuckling down to do a good bit of writing anyway. So I'm and that's really what I've been doing. I'm working on these two feature film scripts. So we've just finished the first draft of each of them actually. So we're kind of waiting to hear what the next steps are with those. But one's a feature-length version of this short film that we're developing, and then the other is a kind of social horror set in a kind of strange house on an island. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe one of them might shoot at some point next year, but let's see. And then other than that as well, I'm working on a kind of a short film idea, which is very early stages, but I think could be really cool, which is basically like a horror film set inside a French language instructional video. So it's a kind of it's about a kind of guy who kind of finds himself trapped inside a very kind of strange kind of mundane, the very strange mundane world of a French language instructional video, and he's going through all these scenes where he's kind of saying, you know, je m'appelle Colin or je m'appelle Frank or whatever, and speaking in this very mundane, boring way, and it sets up all quite kind of twee and happy, but
Sure.
I'll just say things take a turn for the worse. Yeah, and the narrator has other ideas in mind. So yeah, I'm still working on that at the moment. As I say, it's very early stage, but I'll be creating a short out of that, and then also that will be a proof of concept for another feature script that I'm going to start writing soon. Yeah.
Cool. Big things. Sounds
Yeah.
good, Dylan. Okay, well,
Yeah.
thanks for taking the time to chat to me today. Sounds like you've got it, you know, mapped out for the future. And have a good day. Take care.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No worries.